Okay. So recording is restarted and we haven't gotten too far into this chatbot build. It'll be fine. So right here, we've put this PRD into Replit and it builds a mockup for us here of the platform. It didn't do a very exciting mockup here. It just kind of gave us a login page, which is fine. That follows on with what I gave in the instructions here. I told it that it needs to have an admin page. And so it's building that as the first window to our application. But let's see what it offers. It says it's going to build an admin portal with simple authentication. This will be something we have to watch with Replit. It may build a Replit auth and we have to go and undo that. Replit likes to do that. This looks correct. Web scraping sounds good. OpenAI. If you notice, that's what I had here. I said that it would use GPT 4.1 mini as the AI for this. Bot personas, intro messaging, that's what I asked for. Basic conversation logging, embeddable chatbot widget, contact buttons, and AI disclaimers. These are some things that I like to put into bots for a good user experience. Lets people know they're talking to an AI and give them ways to talk to a human. Just creates a really nice user experience. We'll continue that and send it on its way. Tony, every time I say VS Code, at first it sounds like you're saying BS code. I mean, it depending on what type of code you write and what agent you're using, it could be BS code. It's entirely possible. I like it. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm talking about Visual Studio right here. And this is a free IDE that you can download, and then you can put plugins into it to do AI powered coding, or you can use it for regular coding if you like to do that as well. Let's see where we are. So it has started building here for us, and we will see that file set start to be built here. So it's sketched out the project already here for us. These are the files that it's written. We will go back over to agent and see where we are. And what we're going to get out of the first build here is hopefully the bones of the application. And then we'll be able to go through and start to add in features and functionality. One thing I'm watching for over here is if it goes ahead and adds a database for us or not. Replit will sometimes do that in the first build. Sometimes you have to go in and tell it, hey, you put everything in memory and we need to put a database together. And it'll do that for us if we need to. Now there is a feature that we are building here that is, let's go back to this. It is called RAG, and that stands for Retrieve, Augment, Generate. Now what a RAG is in chatbot terms is basically the way the bot knows how to answer questions. So for example, we're going to give it a website. It will crawl the website. It's going to look at all the pages and read them. And it's going to put them into a database using these embeddings here. And basically it assigns all the words a bunch of numbers and says, okay, you've asked me a question. I'm going to translate your question into a bunch of numbers. And then I'm going to check the database and see which numbers in the database are similar to the numbers you asked me. And then based on that, I read the information attached to those numbers, and then I answer your question. So it's going to retrieve the information, augment its answer with that information, and generate a response. That's what the RAG does. I see a question here in the chat. Would it not be better to build a chatbot at the same time as building the website when using vibe coding apps? No, I don't recommend it. And the reason for that is when you try to get one app to do all sorts of stuff, you start to run into complexity issues that the AI stumbles over. Try to keep your services siloed if you can, so that you have the website running and the chatbot can be separate. Because for example, here, we're going to have to set up a database with PG Vector. If we want this to be able to run a crawl in the background, we're going to pull it down off of Replit and set it up on a platform that has Redis, because Replit can't do that. And then that will allow us to queue our crawls. And you don't want all of that busyness running in the background of your website. You want that to be handled on an external service, and then just the embedded bot show up on the site. try to think of things in microservices, if you will. That's not exactly a microservice example, but breaking them out into services. Microservice would be where the front end of the bot runs here and the back end of the bot runs over here and its data store runs over there. And we have them all linked together with APIs. That's like microservice architecture, but you still want to split things out. Okay, let's go back over here and see what our build looks like for the O-Pee-Chee Smart Help bot. We're looking pretty solid on what we have built out so far. We won't have anything beyond this preview. This is just the mockup that it created. Let's say the mockup looks amazing. Maybe it creates a mockup of something that you just love and you want to keep that as an image so you can refer back to it after the initial build. You can right click on these mockups and view the frame source. And that pulls up the mockup code here. Just remove view source from the beginning and it will load in the mockup that it made. And then you could use something like Awesome Screenshot to screenshot the whole thing. In this case, the mockup isn't very great. It's just a login page. Sometimes it will mock up like a really cool front end. And then once the build is done, the front end doesn't look quite the same. So if you do this, then you have the initial mockup to reference and you can come back to it and say, hey, I liked this thing that we built. Let's go ahead and take this screenshot and bring that feature or look back in. So it's a fun thing to do there. Here we go. It made a database. We mentioned we were watching for that. So let's take a look at what it built. It has not done any migrations, so it doesn't have tables in the database yet. We're going to see which tables get added after it does that. So the database is blank right now. And then while this is building, what's the first site we're going to have it crawl to be able to answer questions? I was thinking of doing like the Department of Motor Vehicles for the state Wikipedia. Nice one, Tony. Could be a heck of a crawl. We'll limit the crawl type and style so it doesn't have too many pages to go after. Okay, so we've installed OpenAI. We've installed dependencies here. Let's see what it's put together. Okay. This all looks fine for starters. It's done. Wow, it's put together quite the list. Let's see how we behave here. Okay, it is asking for an API key. For anyone who doesn't know what an API key is, that's just your license to interact with someone else's internet interface that they've created. So this API key is for letting me access ChatGPT via an API. So that's what this is on the background. I already have one saved in my account. If you do not have one, you can go and get one. Let me show you where. There we go. So you would go here to openai.com/API, and then you could tell it to start building. It'll make you create an account if you don't have one, or you can log in with your ChatGPT account if you do, and you can get access to the API. And then each model that you use has its own pricing that it offers as you go through and use that API. And the key allows you to just build based on the usage. So you load the account up with $5 or $50 or whatever, and you have API usage until you run out of billing. That's how you get your API key. We already have one. So we're going to continue with the one that I have here. This is just a testing key that I have in the account. And it is set with a non-refillable budget. So that way, if it somehow has an issue or gets exposed, nobody can use the key to do much. It runs out of money real fast. All right. Sometimes you'll get this prompt here about how to get the key, but I've seen that show up about 60% of the time. For the knowledge to be used in the chatbot, would you use a custom GPT? I see that question there, Tony. It's a good question. In this case, no. We are going to use our own RAG to get all of the knowledge. So basically what we're going to do is give it a URL, have it crawl the URL, index all the information from the website we gave it to crawl, and then that will be the knowledge base that it uses. That way you can put it on any site you want and it can use the information from that website, as long as robots.txt isn't blocking the crawler. But if it's your website, hopefully you're putting this bot on your website, then you have access to allow the bot through. I don't know if the Colorado DMV site is crawlable, but this would be an excellent site to be able to have quick question and answer from. So I'd like to see if we can crawl this and get the answers there once this is constructed. So let's see what it has found. So it restarted the application. See if we can get the log of that or not. It's not showing us the log there. It apparently started the application and saw some errors in the restart. What it's doing here is fixing those errors for us. It's attempting to fix the errors for us. Any other sites we should try other than this one? Thought about doing like a e-commerce site, perhaps. Maybe we'll do this one here. It's a pretty big site. We could probably crawl that, get a bot that's trained. What site will the chatbot be put on? So today we probably won't put the bot on a site. If it doesn't generate us a bot interface for previewing, it generally generates an interface for previewing. If it doesn't, we'll make a simple site to put it on. We'll just put an HTML page up and drop the bot on there so we can test it. Or we'll just have it build a test interface for us so we can see the bot right inside this application and do all of our testing and training. And then it'll give us a JavaScript that we can embed on whatever site we want. Let's see if we have anything showing up in the preview. Hey, look, it made us a little bit more adventurous preview here than what we started with. This looks like it may actually be the app running. Yeah. So this is the front end that it built here. See what else it's resolving. To answer your question there, Tony, a little bit more in detail for folks, I'm going to pull up what an option might be for hosting this sort of bot in testing in case it doesn't build us an interface. I'll just show that here as well. So I have shown this on a few different calls, this tool high level, and you can get a copy if you want, opg.com/GHL takes you to a 14-day free trial. And this is a demo account I have here. So if we want to test a bot like this and it doesn't build us a test interface in the application, then we could go over here and just do a test bot funnel like this. And this gives us a quick web page that we don't have to worry about hosting or anything like that. We can just spin up a quick web page and say, this is the test bot page, and create that step. And it's just going to do a single page that doesn't have anything in it. And then over here in the settings, we could put in the bot JavaScript that it's going to give us. We could paste that right in here, and then it'll make the bot show up on the page so we can interact with it in a live environment. Okay. So it says it has created the platform. Now, the first thing that always happens here is that it tells us it's created it, and then it didn't actually create the whole thing. That's how AI works in these platforms. We need to know what was created and what was not. We're going to request a summary here. I'm going to say, review this application and tell me what is built and tested, what is stubbed out, what is not built at all, and what is entirely placeholder or fake. Do not make changes. We're going to send that through here and let it tell us what is actually built. In the meantime, let's try to register a user and see if it built proper user registration. It wants a username. We'll just use me. Let's try that. And it crashed as we tried to create a user. First bug encountered, user creation is problematic. Now, it could have potentially edited a file here, even though I told it not to. Let's take a look and let it finish its response. We will go over here. Here's the error that we ran into. So I just went over to console, and this is the error that we have. So we'll need to use that to debug. Let's take a look at what it wrote here. Okay, so it says the authentication system is created, which we know is not entirely true in our testing here. Backend API server, these integrations. So here it says GPT-4o for chat responses. Now, this is something you will run into most times that you tell a builder like Replit or any other AI builder to build an application with OpenAI. It will use whatever model it knew about during its training days. And this model, I believe, was trained in, I think its training ended October of last year, is the model that is being used here. So 4.0 would have been its popular ChatGPT model at that time. Even though I told it what models to use, it will often, I told it to use GPT 4.1, it will often revert back to what it knows as existing. So we'll have to go in and change that later manually. It's easy to change. And the text embeddings model, it looks like it did that correctly. Okay. So now that we have this document here, we're going to say, thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and follow. And if you need help building or finishing your app, click the link in my bio to book a one-on-one Zoom call to take a look at your project.